What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering with a Sunday check-in because there was some news late last night, about Trump's big, beautiful bill. Some people are really happy, some people are really upset, and obviously there's going to be some explaining to do. Trump attached his name to this big, beautiful bill, which had some good things in it, but of course, as government does, government made it quite disappointing. It's reminding a lot of people of the Patriot Act. Maybe not in the way that it increased surveillance on Americans, but in the way that, maybe there was something good in there, but it was so distorted by the end of it. It was difficult to say. So let's go through what was promised versus what was delivered, and really try to break down if this is a win or not. But a huge shout out to this video sponsor, Built for America. Hey folks, right now, really quick but important update. Right now, DC politicians are trying to kill energy tax credits that are actually bringing manufacturing back from China and putting Americans to work. These credits are fueling American energy dominance, building supply chains, rebuilding them, and hitting China where it hurts. We're not talking theory, we're talking real jobs, real factories, real results right here in America. Repealing them would destroy millions of US jobs, gut $1 trillion from the economy, and hand China the win. President Trump, don't let Congress pull the plug on America's comeback, protect the tax credit that are putting Americans first. And you can read more about that in the description. Now, Thomas Massie put out this affair. I like Thomas Massie. I don't love, Trump's feud with him. In general, I really like Trump as a leader, as a guy, as an entertainer. But if you're being realistic about his 2016 campaign, what really got done over the term when he was there and what we're already seeing from 2024, 2025, it's always going to be a mixed bag. There's going to be some people that are hardcore Trump fans that never see anything wrong with what he does. There's going to be Trump haters. Most of, me and most of my viewers, we're somewhere in the middle. We like Trump in general as a dude. Not everything he does is awesome, but he's, generally far better than any other alternative. You were promised in the big, beautiful bill that it would do these things, but it does not. Prohibit welfare for illegal aliens, stop funding these surgeries for kids, end registration of suppressors, defund Planned Parenthood in 10 years, implement the RAGES Act, and reduce deficit. And you see people pointing out, did the House put these provisions in while the Senate took them out? Yes, but lest ye blame the Senate, watch the House now for how the lobotomized version 2.0 product. The initial promises got pro-life, pro-border security, and pro-2A groups to whip for version 1. House reps voted against it, got pregnant, and now will vote for version 2.0. Trump obviously saying, Trump declares victory as big, beautiful bill clears the first Senate hurdle and fires brutal warning at Republican rebel. President Trump issued a victorious message that his big, beautiful bill cleared the first Senate hurdle after issuing a brutal warning to a Republican rebel who tried to block its passage. The landmark package of tax breaks, spending cuts, and bolstering deportation funds progressed on Saturday night following a 4-hour negotiation period led by Vice President J.D. Vance, who rushed into the Capitol to get the bill over the line. It will now face an intense period of debating amendments before it's sent back to the House to vote on it again. Trump wants the bill passed through both chambers, set to sign on his desk by the 4th of July. Tonight we saw a great victory in the Senate with the great, big, beautiful bill, Trump posted on Truth Social. He singled out 3 Republicans, Rick Scott of Florida, Mike Lee of Utah, and Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming, who held out. Trump also praised Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who initially voted no, but changed his decision at the last moment to give Trump the numbers he needed to secure the victory. Now, there are some things worth talking about here. We're also going to talk about some of the Iran leaks and Elon Musk's response to it. Elon Musk, of course, we know he hates the big, beautiful bill. And the more I learn about it, here's how I see the two camps. And I'm talking about in pro-Trump, right? Because like anti-Trump, you just want everything negative, right? There's a camp in the pro-Trump, which I agree with a lot of their takes too, in that it's like, hey, can we pass single bills? Why do we have to do this with all this bloat and nonsense in it? This isn't what we were promised. And I think those people are also correct. There's also the, the camp of Trump people that are like, nothing Trump does is wrong, and the one big beautiful bill is a massive success. And I think it'd be hard for me to say that it is, even if it passed, because there's a lot in there not to like, which we're going to talk about. But I do think overall, the pragmatist in me understands that, unfortunately, this is just how our government works, and I'm not happy with it. But, there's an ideological position of, hey, we should be passing single bills, and I think that that's a good goal to have. I just don't know if we'll ever see it in our lifetime. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, but there's just a level of copium that I have where it's like, well, at least Trump passed this, I guess, and that's after years of just getting pummeled, I guess. Elon Musk reignited his feud with Donald Trump as he tore into the president's spending bill in a blistering social media tirade. The world's richest man condemned Trump's big, beautiful bill as utter madness. Hours before the Senate, Republicans are expected to hold initial vote on the latest version of the bill Saturday afternoon, which we know it ended up passing late last night. The latest Senate draft will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country. Musk wrote on one of his X posts, utterly insane and destructive. It gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industries of the future. Trump's massive spending bill was notably the trigger for Musk and President Trump's dramatic fallout. A few weeks ago, Musk, who celebrated his birthday Saturday as he slammed Trump's bill, also criticized the impact of the bill that it will have on the energy industry, with Musk recently pushing for a sharp increase in solar energy in the United States. Responding to a post that noted that the Senate vote could wipe 500 gigawatts of potential energy generation by 2030, saying that would be incredibly destructive to America. Now, I like Elon. I like Trump. Neither individual is perfect. For example, Elon as a father figure, probably not that great. But I think Elon also has a lot of his own interests at heart here as well. By the way, I'm going to be streaming if you made it this far in the video. You can tune in over at Quartercast on YouTube or on Twitch or on Kick or on Rumble or X. It'd be a chill stream. I'm going to be installing Graphene OS on a phone to decouple from Google, and also chilling and talking with you guys and playing some video games. So if you want to tune in, I'll be live kind of after I release this video. So obviously Elon's really mad. So I asked you, my viewers, let me know, what's going on here. What's the biggest part of this bill that you're upset about? And there's a lot to agree with, okay? It was a lost opportunity, the total amount of spending, the fact that the GOP kowtowed to the purely adversary role of the parliamentarian and removed the best chance at restoring some solid 2A rights of the people. I think that that's reasonable. For me, it's not what was in the original BBB, other than the debt spending allowances. It was what the Senate had stripped from. Remittance tax now only on wire transfers instead of blanket removal of 2A wins. Restrictions added to the no tax on tip. That's obviously not good. I think I read somewhere it was just $150. It's not very good. Mike Lee's trying to sell federal land. That did get pulled, so that was a win. The AI stuff is very, very odd to me. I don't like it. Removing the HPI and short acts, Republicans lowered the tax to $0, which means Democrats will raise it to $10,000 if and when they get back into power. Most people have a problem with the AI part, which I do as well. That's very, very odd. I think AI should not be a monopoly. It's coming. It's coming for all of our jobs for the most part in terms of in my space. So, there's a lot in this bill not to like. It says they say the average middle-class American will save 2.6K. The word average lumps too many other people. People earning less than 30K will cost them $800 more in taxes. People earning under 150K means $1,000 less taxes. It's messy. Not heading towards solar power and, EVs. People have that problem. Ultimately, I think all of that is reasonable. I think it's a reasonable reason to be divided. I think that there's still a lot of value in trying to push people, to push our leaders to get rid of these ridiculous, gigantic omnibus bills that have just too much crap. This is where the lobbyists really get their money, right? So what ends up happening is everybody's got a boss in government, and they're pleasing, they get all these donations around election time. And now when these bills come in, they will cram things in, they will change things. That's when a lot of that dark money comes into play. Well, so before I, talk about the Iran stuff, I do want to, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you more like me where it's like, I trust Trump, and yeah, it's not perfect, but I'm only going to live so long. And so, I can only be mad. I have to be pragmatic about it. Or are you more on the ideological side where, you've had enough of this nonsense? Also, by the way, President Trump now calling on Democrats to be arrested. President Trump's calls on the Iranian intelligence leakers to be identified and arrested.
You tweeted the Democrats leaked an intelligence.
They should be prosecuted.
Who specifically? Do we know who did it? Will you be able to find out?
They could find out. If they wanted, they could find out easily. You go up and tell the reporter, national security, who gave it. You have to do that. And I suspect we'll be doing things like that.
Dangerous precedent. If it's a leaker from inside the government, obviously, I support the prosecution of that. Do I like, going after sources that go to journalists? I suppose if they're leaking top secret government stuff like this, it gets into a gray area, but I tend to want protections for reporters in general. I don't know. Are you just tired of fighting over it and happy that Trump is just president right now, willing to deal with some of the stuff you disagree with? Or are you angry about the big, beautiful bill? I'll be curious to read your comments. Hope to see you on stream, and we'll talk to you again real soon.